So chat, if you would, say hello to YouTube. Hello, YouTube. We are doing the second Zendikar Rising draft for the YouTube channel. Live. If you would like to watch drafts in real time, you can come on by to twitch.tv/Semulin. All right, so what have we got here? We've got a Binding, we've got a Scion, we've got a Rock Slide Sorcerer. Not much else. I'm not going to first pick a duel. And I'm still on the spell lands cards, splans, if you will, aren't as strong as we initially thought. So it's like, which do you want to try to build around? We literally just did a deck with the Scion, and it was not bad. But I'm kind of feeling like I might be able to do something with this fella, especially if we get it this early. It kills a reasonable amount of the format, and if you can double spell, it's going to kill a lot of things. There's an argument to just take the blue card, but I want to try this guy out. I haven't gotten to play with it enough. If it doesn't work when we build around it, we can just abandon it and play something else, right? I don't think Nahiri's Binding or whatever is a bad card. Like, lol, pacifism is worse in this set than it usually is, but I still think it's a reasonable pick. This pack has a Wind Robber if we want to look at rogue things. This is basically a mega Tormenting Voice, which is fine. We've got an adequate removal spell, but not an exciting one. I'm happy to play rogues if it's open. I don't think this is the card that you go into rogues for. I feel like here I could probably take a Divner and have a start for wizard things. And if, like, ideally pick 3, 4, 5, we start to get a signal. Because, like, none of these cards are, like, amazing in their deck. They're just role players in their deck. This has the advantage of making the gem printer go burr, which is something, and it does take a land slot. But if we're going to do Rock Slide Sorcerer things, we want as many wizards as we can get. So I'm going to give the Divner a pick here, but we're not blue-red yet. Okay, we're blue. I think I like the first Bubble Tea over the first Into the Royal. But I like both. I want both. What's a hot take, Keith? Yeah, we're not like 100% blue, but we're probably blue. Bubble Snare plus Divner's good. You would pick Royal above Tea? There's some people that would. I don't think it's crazy. There's a lot of things that you want to kill without putting in the bin in certain matchups. All right, so we've got Nectar Pot, we've got Stomper, we've got Shadow Cat. There's a possibility that we could actually be doing red party things. This is another tough one. I don't mind Blue-Green Kicker, and the Nectar Pot can be okay there, but it's not great. Royal is a sorcerer trigger? It is, but I'm not thinking too heavily that we're doing sorcerer things. Like, we first picked this and we haven't really seen any more good red, so I don't think we're super likely to. What I'm trying to determine here is what's actually open that we can get into, and I'm not really getting much other than maybe red party things. Like, I don't mind playing the Shadow Cat, but we're getting kind of clogged here. So, like, we could be blue-black not rogues. The Gargoyle keeps us open, but it's also not that great. It's just fine. Here's a place where before I think I would have taken the Splans. We did have a conversation about Dreadworm being pretty decent if you're just looking to beat down. Yeah, we're not seeing the blue cards. So either we'll see them in the next pack or we just got to let that dream go. Survivor could be interesting. Dreadworm could be interesting. It's possible we're supposed to, like, edge our way into green-black, strangely enough. You think this plan is the better card in the pack? I don't think that it is here. I think if I end up with a party deck with this as my top end or a control-y deck with this as my top end, we can try it. And it was pretty dang good in that last match we played. Kazul's Furry I like. Seafloor Stalker I like. I'm really down on the Bug Catcher. And I don't think we want to get into white. So I could take this just to have like a playable blue card to figure out where we go. My issue with Fling is that I don't want to put Fling in my deck, but this is a Spland I actually like. I think we may be black-red. I think these drafts are more fun, where you really have to think and challenge your way through it. Like the last draft we did for YouTube, I got past a nuts blue-black rogue deck, and there wasn't a whole lot to do except take the good cards for the deck. Whereas you're like scrapping and fighting to figure out what's open, that can actually be kind of fun. We're seeing blue and black cards, they just don't really go in the rogue deck, so I'm a little hesitant to try the Relic Golem, although we could. I feel so weird to have passed that red-black artifact and then get into red-black, but I feel like that's what we're being told is open, which is going to make this particularly bad. Like, it's kind of going to be like a weird red-black landfall deck, which might want the Lagak more. Oh, God, that's bizarre. But I think we just found our way into red-black landfall, which I'm not even sure is a deck, but if it is, we're going to figure it out. The mace does wheel somewhat, but like looking at what we have, we've got a cat, a worm horror. Like we don't have the pieces to make that happen. I suspect we could play Wildfire in that. We could probably do something with the Constrictor. I am going to take the Stalker here just because I don't have a reason to be any of these colors, which is a big concern for me. Yeah, the Stalker's certainly not terrible. So like I'll often talk about while I'm drafting, I want to have a reason to be in a particular color, and I have cards of these colors, but I don't have a reason to really be in any of these colors. Like Subtle Strike is fine, Cognition is fine. I'll take this and see where we go. All right, this is telling me we could kind of do rogue things. Because everybody saw this and nobody wanted it. We've been seeing plenty of these. So maybe we just buckle in and do blue-black rogues, because that's what's wheeling. Yeah, there's pieces for it here. The mace did wheel, so we've still got this in our back pocket. This would be decent in the party deck. I've played this one, and I liked it. I've also been pretty happy with Acquisitions Expert, which may seem bizarre, right? Because maybe every YouTube video will be a rogue deck, maybe. I didn't like the 1/2 flyer in the last set. I did like that card when it was in Ixalan trying to enable raid, but this one isn't just hijacking the card, it's discarding it. Like it's getting you a sort of 2-for-1 when you play it. But I think whichever deck we get into, whether it's red-black party or blue-black rogues, we're going to want a Deadly Alliance. And this is where I know for sure I would have taken this a week ago. But I'm not going to now. I'd rather just have the kill spell. And our blue does look better. This shade represents a crap ton of damage. Now, there's a problem. It can't block, but why would you want to block? This is really pushing me in the... well, it's really pushing me into black. I could still pair it with, like, mediocre red cards. I'm not going to be able to play a mace in this deck where we've got shades and Lagax and whatever. But this is kind of us hard committing to black here. All right, time to be real. Because Royal Eruption is quite nice. Swarm Shambler is also quite nice. I would say it's a metric crap ton, Ajani. We are men and women of culture here. The question isn't, is the Swarm Shambler better than Royal Eruption plus what we've got? The question is the Swarm Shambler better than this plus all the green we're going to see? I think it might be. I think we're green-black. I think we've been green-black the whole time and we didn't know it. Or people don't understand how good this card is, which is fine. So if we were green-black, I don't think any deck's playing the mace. If we were green-black, I've kind of already got the beef. And this is, again, not me committing to green-black, just trying to look at what this deck looks like. It looks like one that would probably play this, because I don't need random fives. I've already got that covered. And there's nothing for the other decks, because we wouldn't be a party deck. I don't have any removal yet, but don't worry, we're going to find some. What? Okay, so what if we were rogues and friends? What if we were rogues and friends? This may just mean that other people don't value the Shambler as highly as I do, which is possible that they didn't play with Chronometon back in the day, because this looks pretty good to me. We could take the Deadly Alliance, and that would be fine in the green deck. I think that's a little bit safer pick. Yeah, both decks want it. Oh, man, I wanted to get that Alliance, but I was a little too slow. But it's okay, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. We probably trim out one of these dudes, the Shadow Cat. Something like this. We could probably still play the Shadow Cat. Because we want to maximize the number of rogues that we have. And I think this is better than the Relic Golem. I can find another Relic Golem. And these are still up on the chopping block. Skulker is nice. Another Stalker would be nice too, but I think we can enable this. What a weird draft. Yeah, we need all of the things. Apparently all of the YouTube drafts are going to be rogues. So just force rogues is what you should be learning, right? Skulker's great, as far as I'm concerned. We've still got this weird mix of like rogues and not rogues, but like I'm playing the Shade in this deck. I suspect I'm playing the Divner just to have a flyer. And it doesn't hurt that it makes this a little cheaper. There is still a lot of red open. I think what we figured out is that Grixis was sort of open. I'm not playing Deliberate, and I'm not playing that. So I guess we'll take a Vampire. I don't think he's getting played. Like, I've already got one in the side. But it's hard to argue with a 4-3 for 4. I actually want a few of the Zulaport Cutthroats now. 50 Shades of Rogues. I mean, this is a real good deck when it's open. Yeah, this pick just doesn't matter. I can play 2 Dreadworms. I probably won't play 3, but I might. We're not gaining any life. What a weird draft. The Cleric Wield, I guess I could still get into this. I don't think I'm going to want to give anything indestructible. I've already sort of got that on a land. I guess the only thing we knew for sure is that we were not playing white cards here. So that's a duel that I'm usually interested in, but I found Thwart the Grave to be quite good. I've been very happy playing Thwart the Grave. Because we're going to be able to get back a rogue and a friend. Yeah, there's a Deadly Alliance there too. This is a stacked pack for us, and I'd like both, but I feel like this gives the deck some late game. And like, again, I'm kind of hoping to cut some of these 4s, but we may not be able to. This is definitely not as focused of a rogue deck as we had yesterday. I think the one we had yesterday had 3 Thought Thieves. Like, that's just absurd. That's not going to come together very often. And this is the direction where blue was open adjacent. I'd really like to replace these if I can with the 3/4s that grow as you mill them. So this dude I don't think is great in limited. When it enters the battlefield, copy the next instant or sorcery spell with 2 or less. If it was kicked, copy it twice. So I could play this and kick a Subtle Strike. I think I'd rather just have an Air Elemental. We'd probably play Grasp. But like part of the plan must be to kill them in the air. Yeah, my issue with Rise Again was that it wasn't doing enough. I think this is Thwart the Grave specifically. I'm sorry to keep it like weirded out like this, but I feel like I really need to see the curve because we're kind of under the gun here. I don't know what to tell you. I was like, I don't know why either of these cards are still here, but we? I'm definitely playing the Crawling Barrens. It's real good. Our deck has a legitimate plan now. And I think I can play 18 lands if I want to. I certainly can. I've got a Malakir Rebirth. I'll just count that as a spell. Crawling Barrens, very good. Hopefully I can show you how good it is. So the question is, we know we're not getting this back because we've seen two go around the table and people took them. Am I milling enough for us to think that we can enable this? And I think the answer is no. And that I want one of these bad enough that I should take it. Because my mill is basically coming through this guy, and this guy. And that's about it. I can find another Cutthroat, and if I don't, I'll deal with it. I believe. And there's another Seagate Restoration. I'd like that too, but we've passed, what, 3 Deadly Alliances? I don't think I can get 8 cards in my opponent's library that easily, but if we can find a Mind Rot or a Chilling Grasp, we can certainly do that. We could also do this, right? That doesn't do anything. 2-mana cycle. And now you must deal with it. I guess we could play a McLord. If I have to. I don't want to. Free gems. That's a compelling argument too, Miori. Skittersnake. This is something I was interested in. I still need a few more enablers. I'm kind of like barely interested in card draw, but I've just got to get the playables together. There's my duelist. Okay. It's coming together, but it's a lot uglier than what we were playing before because I think I'm main decking this. Don't worry, Stream Riders. I'll get your battle going. We can splash our Shambler, I guess. I don't know what we're supposed to do with that. I think there may have been a black-red landfall deck going. I think this deck wants the Mind Drain more. Because now I've got a realistic chance at enabling this. Mind Drain puts 3 cards in the bin for you. So question, should last card be a Gloom Hunter or another Duelist? And I think if I'm playing the Golem, it should be the Duelist. And we look at taking out probably the Sky Cat. This was a draft and a half. Alrighty, we got a deck we can play. Question is, how good it gonna be? We've got this guy being recursive, which I dig. We've got Thwart the Grave, which I think can be good. We've got 2, 3.5 removal spells. A little bit of card draw. This feels like I would want more blue than black. And if the lands match, we're pretty disappointed. So we could do 9/8 because I don't have any double black. I mean, other than this, and that's very late. Whereas I want to be able to hit these on turns 1 and 2 potentially. I guess I've got double black for this guy, but I figure by the time we're thinking about kicking it, we should have it anyway. And if I do 9/8, it's really 9/9, sort of. No, don't do that. I hate it when it does that. I just wanted to see my lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that would give us 8. If we're counting the Spland. That swamp looks cool. It's the point of getting all these full art lands if you're not going to use them? All right. I think we can give this a go. Let's do our Stream Raiders battle. We've got to defend ourselves from these giants. I wanted the Phyrexian Swamp from the Jumpstart stuff, and I never managed to get it. Which is a shame, because it was a really cool looking land. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube and you're not familiar with Stream Raiders, this is kind of a fun passive RPG that we play between rounds. So usually when I finish a draft or a round, we can fire this off. I place a unit, you guys place units, we kill monsters, and we take their loot. And every once in a while we lose. But not often. We've got a pretty powerful stream here. Just a few goblin tossers left in the corner, and looks like they about dead. That's a pretty weak siege. So we've got Kamon with the kills, Shivan with the assists, gold for all of y'all, extra gold for Sparrow Walking Sponge, BTG, and the Ancient One get the scrolls. Come on now. There you go. And we can get to our drafting. The Phyrexian one is the one I didn't get. Well, obviously you saw the discard one. All rogue all the time. All right, I can be pretty comfortable with this. The Malakir Rebirth is kind of saving us. And we can get all of our other rogue things enabled pretty darn quick. Trick with Cinder Barons is you can activate it without turning it into a land. So when you've got extra mana, you can just kind of dump counters on it and make it arbitrarily large for when you actually need it. Don't think we're looking to trade our 1/3 for their 1/1. I might bubble tea it eventually, but I just don't care right this second. Question is, do we want to get the Air Force going and just ignore this damage? I think there's a possibility we do, because I can go Skyscanner into Divner. And then maybe look at blocking afterwards. I'm a little bit behind on the damage race, so there's some argument to playing the Stalker here. Because it's either going to force a removal spell or a combat trick, and they don't want to be using a removal spell just yet. And then next turn I could potentially go Stalker and Bubble Tea this if we care. Okay, I talked myself into the Stalker. Looks like we milled a warrior, land, and a forest. So really we milled 3 cards if you think about it. Like if they're going to use a premium removal spell on the Seafloor Stalker, I'm good. That makes that a little more of an appealing target for Bubble Tea. Interesting they don't want to trade these. Yeah, so we could Bubble Tea this. Maybe trade these and be relatively okay with it. I kind of want to save the Bubble Snare and just play this and look to trade. Like, they held it back because they want to block. I think I'd rather just play the Divner and trade it and Bubble Snare. Like, it's red-green. They're going to have a big, scary monster. If they don't, I'll win anyway. But, like, 6 is where they get scary. Say they play the 6/5 trample. Okay, that one Bubble Tea doesn't work so well against. So I can't draw Deadly Alliance and get them with it. But I kind of need to. This is super awkward. Yeah, I can't really bubble tea that. All right, that puts us in a super awkward spot. Because I'm definitely taking 5 damage off of it. I kind of have to draw Deadly Alliance now or it's just going to kill me. I kind of need them to miss a land drop and then us to draw Deadly Alliance. It's not quite time to press F to pay respects. Like, we've got answers for this. Bubble Tea just isn't one of them. This is one of the better bombs in the set. Okay, so they're at least missing land so far. This is good news. That's not a land. Oh, come on. I could still recover with the Deadly Alliance, because I could Deadly Alliance that and Bubble Tea this. Good God, a Shambler too? Things are looking grim for our hero. Things are looking very grim for our hero. Because I don't think we're milling them out. They just got too much stuff. All right, if it's going to work, this is how that starts. Because this needs to die. This needs to stay thirsty. And I think we need to hold and try to trade these and then get back in the game later. Good work, Stefan. Interesting that that's holding back so much, but I think I still have to take this trade and draw some cards. They're not killing me on the ground, realistically. Because I can at least pop this and play a 3/4. And after that, the land should scale with this if I'm flooded. Yeah, just draft the good cards. It's easy. Okay, so we're going to have Skittersnick on blocking duties. Thief on dealing 2 damage a turn duties. Phase 3 win. Mill may be a viable option for us. They're at 13 cards. Like, we're going to mill them before we kill them. So I can activate that twice at 8 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. So I've got a 4/4 blocker and a 5/4 blocker. If we steal this one, I feel like we've accomplished something. Because this is 4 to activate, right? Yeah. Crawling Barrens may be what saves us. Oh, we've got them down at 9 cards currently. You're a poet and you weren't even aware of the fact. Not bad. Stop tapping all this mana. I need you kind of not to have things. I can't really beat things. Oh no. That can't be a Rabid Bite or a Balagad. It can't be anything. I can't beat anything. I can beat nothing. You can't have that many more good cards, right? Like, realistically, come on. We probably can't beat stuff either. I'm not sure whether them thinking about it is a good sign or not. It either means they're screwed or they're trying to decide which way they'd like to kill us. They may not be aware that I've got a 4/4 blocker. It may not matter that I've got a 4/4 blocker. That's a Balagad. Okay, that's what they were thinking about. I don't think I can beat this picking up the treachery. Or this. So, like, we're kind of in trouble. What do I need here? Maybe my discard spell? That's probably not even good enough. Okay. So we block. I mean, they've got the Song Mad Treachery is what's at issue here, and they're going to have it. So I block. They take this. Ugh. All right. Well, we're going to have to start with what do they discard? Because if they happen to discard the Treachery, I may have a way to play the game still. So if they take this guy, I have to chump here and eat this. I can't block my own dude. I do get to eat something with this. I don't think I have an attack here. Because I'm taking lethal. I'm taking straight up lethal. Yeah, this is not looking great. I think I have to attack with it. Because there's some possibility that they double block it or something. That'd be swell. I can't imagine why they would, but... that's fair. It is only a 3/4 without menace for them. I didn't even notice that, BTG. Meh. Even with that, we're still in pretty big trouble, right? Because I just don't have enough blockers. I'd have 3 blockers. I might could have found another turn. Yeah, if they'd taken that instead and I had this, I could chomp. I'd still, even if I chomp the 2 biggest things, we're in serious trouble. I'm going to block something with this because I want to. But it doesn't actually matter. So if I had one more blocker, I could block this, but I'd still be taking lethal. Yeah, I don't think it actually mattered. They've got a really good deck. I'm terrified. Whew. Because I felt like we had a decent draw. But, like, I have to have a removal spell for this dude. They've got a way to get it back, potentially. They've got multiple ways to get it back. Whew. This is real scary. So their stuff is getting huge very bigly. And the ground doesn't seem like it matters that much. So, like, bringing in another Dreadworm or something doesn't really help. I think I want the Shadow Cat. What do I want the Shadow Cat over? Because I'm thinking the Shadow Cat's an interesting way to cash these in after they've done something. And maybe get me something big enough that could, like, block some of their threats. Because I'm supposed to be the aggro deck here, and I'm going on the play. And I've got Death Touchers on the ground. Maybe it's not as bad as I think. We just had a bad draw. Because, like, I feel like Thwart the Grave would have saved us at a lot of spots. The Diviner's the thing that doesn't fit. And the Mind Drain kind of doesn't fit either, but I'm concerned about enabling this stuff. Maybe that means Spare Supplies is out. I could believe that's not optimal here. Like, I didn't really want to play it to begin with. Okay, I can give this a go. Surprise Death Touch. And we probably save this as a combat trick because it might do something. If I play the island out, it signals to him that I have the Duelist, and I'm not playing it on turn 1. So I think I'd rather have this dude with Surprise Death Touch coming up. Yeah. Surprise. It's Surprise Death Touch twice if you think about it with the Rebirth. Have to decide which way we want to go here, because I may want to play this as a land just so we can get to the worm. Like, I could play the Stalker and this is a land and be pretty comfortable. I think I'm okay with that. If I'd drawn another land, we'd save it, but I didn't. So I think there's a possibility the land is what gets us through here. That's an interesting combat trick. But I think I'd rather have that attack once this is attacking too. Because like another land, I can play the combat trick and the snake, empty the hand, start dumping mana here. We can sort of do stuff. Maybe things. We've got him down to 20. That's a start. I can't tap that because we need another blue. We've only got him at 4, so that's not particularly relevant. If I attack here and they single block, I'm good. Which is what I'd like. Trading a 3/2 for 4 that draws a card. This isn't that. You're thinking it's a different one. Oh, the 3/2 for 4 that draws a card, really bad. It is, but it's still a very playable card. I'm trying to figure out how to use my mana most efficiently here. If they double block this Dreadworm, I'm really sad. But then I guess I just end up trading it for this. It's probably just Skitter Snake and pass. Because if they attack with this, I can Bubble Snare it and be pretty happy. I really want to hit one more land and get things happening. It's certainly not as good as the Llanowar Visionary from the last one, but it's still a fine card. I've ended up playing it more than I expected to in green decks. And if they draw their bomb, there's just nothing we can do about it currently. So I'm on the they don't have it plan. Okay. The Deadly Alliance really needs to be saved for that other dude. So this might be a spot to put some counters here and hold the Alliance in case they play their bomb. Because if their plan next turn is to play that and the bomb, we're in trouble. and I'd want to kill it in response. If they don't, we've at least got this to do stuff. So we're in a bit of a board stall. But it's now a board stall where I have an answer to the thing I'm most scared of from them. This is going to take a while. Buckle in. Buckle up, buckaroo. Okay, we can kind of handle that. This is the steal your guy one? Okay. I wouldn't call this good for us, but we're all right. Man, I sure would like me another one of them islands. I kind of have to take the same route again. I just need an island and we could start playing Magic, but I don't have one, so we kind of can't. And I kind of don't want to trade off the Barons either, but having the 2/2 Death Touch is at least nice. Discard a card. Get me to that threshold, pulls. There you go. I feel like this has to have that big scary monster's name on it, because otherwise we just in trouble. I don't want to be in trouble. All right. Slowly, gently. This is how you grow the Barons. So if we want to tap out here, which is still a little scary, we could play this here Falconeer. I think I like going here, swinging for 5, and holding up the Deadly Alliance plus the 6/6 blocker. Because the thing that really gets me is them having the bad spell for us. The Avenger of Zendikar. Once they have that, the ground pounders don't matter anyway. And I'd like to be able to hit it before they're going to get too much value out of it. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. The reason I'm keeping some mana open here and kind of going with that line is I may decide I want to do something like this, because this does deny them the card draw. But I don't think I can. I think I have to save this for that. But I can keep up Subtle Strike plus a 6/6 on blocks, which is just fine as far as I'm concerned. So like we can do this and have the Subtle Strike going, which I think we're going to need. Because I do think these things need to die. I mean, as far as bad things go, this is A-okay. Because we're now back in control of this and we still have a removal spell for the thing we're scared of. So we're like pretty happy to draw lands. Yeah, because I can start swinging with this. And I can get my Falconeer going, and I've still got a removal spell for the big guy. And I can block all of this stuff. Whew. Stable adjacent? So this is 3 to activate. I'll still have Alliance up. Sold. Because this will get them next turn, and I've got Alliance. Plus a surprise chump blocker. I feel like we managed to navigate this one to safety. Yeah, that's right, Shadowside. I would have an opportunity to kill it at instant speed. But it doesn't look like that beats me now. They took 10 damage off of that Dreadworm. If they hadn't taken that, we'd be nowhere close to victory. But since they did... Whee! Yeah, I'm expecting a Flunge Scoop here. I think we just block the biggest things they have. Don't worry about the math. See what happens. Yeah, I'm not worried about the math. They either got it or they don't. Looks like they don't. Oh, wait a minute. What happened? It looked like my life total went into the negatives, and then it didn't. They had enough to put me to 6, and somehow my creatures didn't die. Arena, you be crazy. You be crazy. Alright, so I think the game plan is about the same. I don't think we need... Do we need a cleric on the draw? The old instant speed concede? I guess concession does not use the stack. Fair. I don't feel like I do. I feel like I've got enough big stuff. Maybe we could consider cutting the Shadow Cat for another big thing if we're concerned about it. Because the cleric would at least trade for their cleric. I think I'm still going to try to play this aggressively. We'll just draw our good cards and hope they don't. I haven't seen that one before, Dima. That was new to me. Oh, Lord. This is a really bad hand. Like, we can draw blue spells, which will make it better. I guess we still keep it, because like there's no guarantee we're going to get a better hand. But this one's scary. Like, this could easily go poorly, because like more islands are bad to draw. In addition, black cards are bad to draw, and a lot of our blue cards don't really do anything right now. The main reason I'm keeping it is because there's, again, no guarantee that we're going to get a better hand if we mulligan. But this is one where that may come back to bite me. I think Swamp next turn and we're still playing Magic. If I miss it there, we're probably done. Okay, at least that's a play. And it's a play that will enable Death Touch on this, which is not bad. And it'll start setting up some of the mill that we care about. It should even hold the Shambler back, because I'd block that in a heartbeat. Okay. Well, there's our black source. Not perfect, but we'll take it. And I'd have brought in the Snarecaster against me too. I hope they took out a 6-drop for it. Yowza. All right, I can see a way through this because a 3/4 blocks everything they've got currently. I don't want to cast this until we can double it, because a 3/1 attacking doesn't do anything. And I'd need double black for the kicker. It is not. It's double black. Even then, I don't think I could play it because we need to stabilize first. The shade's not able to block. The challenge is not many of our cards do much here, but we could have the Skulker to defend, so next turn we can at least double spell. But everything they've got so far doesn't have great attacks, and it looks like they're a little mana deprived, which is good for us. And we do have an answer for their shenanigans, just no clear way to get through this. If I draw another removal spell, we could consider using it on this to enable damage. I may even have to kill it and start clocking for 4 a turn, which is pretty underwhelming. They're going to get a bug too, right? No, they're not going to get a bug. That's a very wide board. So Infiltrator can start connecting for me, which is decent. And lets me keep up Deadly Alliance, which is decent. Yeah, I think that's where we play now. They sure do, Dave. They sure do. This has been quite the difficult round for me. But maybe we can start drawing some cards and doing a thing. Because the ground don't matter. Glad we saved the Deadly Alliance. Indeed. Gonna be a while before you do anything, but that's okay. Is this spell or speller ability? Spell, okay. So at least we got that going for us. We know they have multiple ways to get this back, which is terrifying because I can't do anything about it. Yeah, they're going to get this rebirth, which is terrifying. I think I need to run this 1/1 out and use that to tap. Because I have to top deck another removal spell for the dang thing. All I've done is just given them more plant tokens. They've got a 2-turn cycle to find it, though. But I'm going to need the 6/6 to be able to block. We are still on the YouTube draft, Andy. This has been a particularly difficult one. They've got a very good bomb and ways to recur it. So I need to find my other copy of Deadly Alliance to get the dang thing. Also, being stuck on no black for a long time really stifled our opening. So we just don't have them at a reasonable life total. I think this is a pretty good attack for us. They probably have a combat trick. It's probably +3/+3, but I think we can still get some value off of this. If it's +3/+3, I can make sure that I at least get to keep my snake out of this. Because that's an easy trade. This is an easy block. And if they've got +3/+3, like, what are they doing? Hitting me for 6, 7? I can handle 7. This block almost seems reasonable, too. Like, we're not trading anything, but we're not taking the damage. I don't really want to trade this off because they've got way bigger things for me to worry about. God, that's so much damage, though. I have to trade things and just let them get me with the combat trick if they indeed have it. Because, like, we're at 9. That is not a safe life total. I played that very safe trying to play around a trick, but we did get this enabled. That's something. Okay, that's at least a blocker we have. We've got the 6/6 on blocks, but I need another card. We get 2 cards this way. Because I can sack this afterwards. I don't really know how the Infiltrator is going to continue getting in after that, but that's a problem for future Travis. It's a threat, but it's really a blocker, right? I feel like I need to dig for that alliance. We did not find it. This displeases the Travis greatly. All right, so if we draw it next turn, I'm going to have to kill them in the air. That's like the only option I have. They still can't play it this turn. So we've at least got that going for us. They didn't know I had the 1/1 flash, dude. I don't think it's a crazy attack from them. But they're clearly going to get their bomb back here, and then I've got a couple draws to try to beat it, and if I don't, they win. The only thing we've got going for us currently is that they can't regrowth it and cast it in the same turn. Because if they could do that, it's just kind of game over, man. I'd very much like it not to be game over, man. They're getting to play so much more Magic than me. I guess not that much. I'm at 14 minutes. This has been a very back and forth game. These games of Magic don't come up often enough. I'm saving the land because we do have a few landfall triggers, and it would really need to be black mana to change any of our lines. Vote not game over? I hope so. They're thinking about it. I'm terrified of what their other 2 cards are if this is something that requires any thought at all. Like, arguably, this would get better if I start milling them, which I'm gonna. But am I gonna mill something better than this? I can't imagine that I do. Like, there's nothing better than that in your deck, yo. All right, so that doesn't do it. I'm going to have to draw again. So let's make sure we draw again. I think the Death Toucher is going to be a better blocker than the 4/4. And I think I'm supposed to be trying to race this. So we're going to get in for 6. If I can hit for 6 3 times, we win the video game. Alrighty. So a 5x attacker on the ground doesn't do anything. This does at least make the removal spells worse. I guess this gives me another chance at card draw next turn. What blocks do I need here? I may need this to block. Yeah, I'm going to need this to block. I'm definitely going to need that to block. Yeah, the game sounds are turned down a little bit, Campbell. We're doing a YouTube draft. I don't think playing this does anything, but not playing it doesn't do anything either because it's going to come back if I need it. It's possible they don't know it can't block. I think he means the game sounds. I do have those turned down. All right, so there's the thing. They need a land drop. If they somehow don't have a land drop, we get to keep playing Magic a little longer. Not a lot longer. Okay, they missed it. This is game 3. We milled lands. That's good. We can't have them having lands. I need the 4/4 blocker because we're flooding out. That means I can draw the card, but I can't attack with the bird. If I attack with the bird and tap down these, I've got 1, 2, 3 blockers. 1, 2, 3 things blocked. I take 6 and I'm dead. So the risk is, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Out of 18 cards. If one of them's not a land, I could potentially win if they miss a land. I can sack the Shade and replay it. That doesn't give me an extra blocker. What we're trying to figure out now is, are we attacking with the Infiltrator only or the Infiltrator and the bird? I think the Infiltrator and the bird gives me the greatest chance at actually winning the game. But I need one heck of a draw here. I think Thwart the Grave does it. But it's close. It does give me a 4/4, but the issue isn't being able to kill things when we block, because I win the game next turn anyway. Alright, so now if they miss a land drop, I can win this game. That's not them missing a land drop. They do have to be bold enough to attack with everything, but I think they're going to be. That's not a good draw, we're dead. Because I've got 1, 2, 3 blockers. This would give me 4. We block 1, 2, 3, 4 things and take 6. We're just dead. Cutthroat would have been better. Like, significantly better. But it kind of doesn't matter what I do here because we're just 1 short. That's really close. I want to see what my other 2 cards were. I'm curious how close we were to Thwart. How we weren't getting there. Yeah, we knew we had to dodge a land if we took this line, which there was some hope for because we milled 2 of them. But like, this card's just really hard to beat. The fact that we got that close, I think we're going to count that as a victory. Also, we got to play an exciting game of Magic. I'm happy about that too. Let's kill some orcs and then we will try the next round. Orcs and rats, apparently. There were some cards I draw there that could have done it. I think what I was doing, what I was exhibiting there was trying to play to win instead of playing to not lose. If I make that attack for 6 and I draw one of the cards that can stop that attack, or they don't draw a land, I've got a path to victory the following turn. If I hold back and just draw cards, I'm not going to be able to kill them fast enough. Hey, Marty, thank you for the bits. We got Simwife with the kills, David with the assists, gold for all of y'all, scrolls for Widit, Rockheath, and the Shivan. We'll keep on going here. There's a dragon to fight at the end. We weren't playing aggro. It was already a victory. Kind of. Kind of. I'll let you guys handle the strategy, and we'll get on to the next game. They're big rats. Very big rats. Y'all spam some cats for Marty. Thank you very much, my friend. I don't mind playing against aggressive decks. I think we might be better off against aggressive decks, frankly. Again, I kind of don't want to put it out there that I have the duelist. I think we're just going to play the Shade here. KYT, what's up, my man? Thank you for the gift subs. The boss is here. We got to look busy. Y'all spam some cats for KYT. Much appreciated, my friend. How you doing, boss? Speaking of mana deprived, Captain Canada is here himself. Thanks, boss. It's hard for this to go bad for us. Yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. David, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated, my friend. Oh, you're the best, KYT. Thank you. More cat spam is in order. Our plan here is obviously to wreck them with instant speed blockers that they are not expecting. I like that plan. I think I just want to take out the Gecko, because that's the thing that could be the scariest long term. Well, I'd like to have options, but we don't, so discard 2. Like, if we hit another land, we can play the Infiltrator and we've got decisions to make. Since we didn't, we don't, and we can't. I think we're still pretty happy with the swing here. Because they're going to have to start considering blocking at some point. He's just coming back, don't you worry. We'll get around to it. Look at all that damage. You still ready to attack, Mr. Charger? What you reckon they got? Oh, game 2? No, you did not have the win. It was a close one, though. Good games, Weddings. Game 3 you did. I don't see why we wouldn't just attack here and see whatever it is they're doing. Because if they're going to get me here by dealing a bunch of damage to the Thief, I can save it. If they're not, I'll just play the land and recast it. Good games. Yeah, it was something weird with the concession on the stack. Okay. Hiya. It's looking pretty good. They out of cards, which is easy to do when you play in Mine Rots. There's some concern about whatever big thing they have on 5. Like, imagine they've just got a 4/4 Gnarlred or one of the 5/4 Giants. That could be a little worrisome to us. But as it is, we are not concerned. We did get to see most of their deck, and it looks like aggressive warrior stuff. No, it's just aggro cards. Aggro equipment, too. Like, I don't typically like the Scavenged Blade. And I don't typically like the Hellhound. The rest of these, I think, are playable. And if you're going to play the Blade, having multiple of these is kind of a reason to do it. That should make our Cutthroats even better. It should also make something like Cleric of the Chill Depths a reasonable blocker. I don't have a whole lot of a size board here other than that Cleric. And I suspect we're going to be trying to block through the early game rather than needing more things to close it. So I do think I want the cleric here. It also gives us a cleric for party things, which we've got a little bit of. So this seems reasonable adjacent to me. Because I think if we can block through the early game, we probably win. They may not have big stuff. This is probably a keep. It's a scary keep, but it's a keep. We're playing 18 lands. If I hit literally any of them, I can play the spare supplies. If I hit blue, we've probably got one of the better openers we could get with Thought Thief into early drops that matter. Unlike bubble teeing that just feels like you're already winning. Now, if we miss the land drop, we're going to look like an idiot, but I'm not going to miss the land drop. Why would I ever do that? We do still need one more. That's a fair point, but the spare supplies kind of saves us there. I think since I can't cast anything now anyway, I'm going to play this and see if we can hit a blue source. Lame. We drew the lands, they just weren't the right color. But even one more swamp's good now. And we've got more lands than our opponent. I would not have kept that on the play for those curious. I think we did have a win on a mull to 5 earlier today, but generally speaking, that's not something that you should expect. Okay, now we finally get this. I think I'm on board with mind draining them because we know we're going to get action, and then trading, playing out the duelist to try to grab this. Yeah, they kept a one-lander as well. But like they've missed a land drop. We're going to get action with this, which is handy, and start turning on our rogue stuff. As long as they don't have some weird equipment for this guy, we're good. Hallelujah. Look at that. I wasn't beating that. And I think I can get value off of the duelist here. Then play the 3-4 and be safe. Can deal that damage anywhere you would like to. So if we go with the 3-4 here, I don't get a double spell. If I play this dude, I could play this as well. If I play this dude, I've also got the flash in for the Thought Thief, which is pretty good. I think I do like that. And I may actually just not want to flash it, because they're at 6. If I just do this, I've got my rogues turned on, and they don't have great attacks. And like, we know they're mana deprived. And even land, we still got blocks. Yeah, we're in pretty good shape here. So I feel like I can attack here, play the Wind Robber and the 3-4, and be pretty dang safe. And I don't need to worry about bubble tea yet. It's a pretty fun draft format. I like it. I probably would have just played that out, but maybe they're thinking they need ground blockers, which is fine by me, because they don't have good ones. We can just bubble tea this guy and all of a sudden be in great shape. But I kind of just feel like attacking in the air is our path to victory here. Yeah, especially with the land, it's a no-brainer because I can draw a card first. But let's attack and see how this goes first. I suspect it will go well for us. But if you're going to draw a card, you should probably draw the card first. So we'll do that. I don't think they're going to have a counter spell. I'm not super likely to draw anything better than this that I can play, but here we go. We still got blocks. We've got, what's that? 7 power in the air plus another 4. This one's coming to a close. Looks like they can see the writing on the wall. Cool, so one more and we got to 2-1, which at this point feels like a victory. But so far I would say I like this format a great deal. I've had a good time with it. I was overvaluing the spell lands initially. Like, the argument was that they were so good you had to take them early. And they are really good to have in your deck, but they're just not better than premium removal spells or bombs. So I've switched to not taking them early, picking them up over just about any other playables, but like bombs removal don't get there. They're on the additional value scale. Like we talked about in Brave drafting, you draft bombs removal, additional value, efficiency. They're on the additional value scale. And they're pretty high up there, but like still got to deal with it. I have heard of them, Joe. They're not bad. It's not exactly my jam, but they're not bad. Yeah, that one's kind of bad. That one's kind of bad. It would really surprise me if I want to run this guy out, but whatever. They know I've got one. Crabs drafting. Can you explain crabs drafting, John, for chat? And all the people watching on YouTube? It may be, but I'm not going to be able to play it out on curve, right? Because like flashing this guy in early doesn't do anything. Well, there you go. That's crab theory. So it's a curve, but it's kind of a weird anti-curve. If I draw another blue, it gets rather interesting. Because I don't really want to kick it with car insurance here. I did not draw another blue. So I've got the option to Mind Drain or play a 1-1 and prevent damage. I think I'd rather get the Mind Drain off now. They're going to have tough decisions to make. And we're attacking. I could be crazy and try to block with this. But I think that's a little crazy. Because I get wrecked by a kicker combat trick. Well, I mean, without kicker. But we'll have our rogues enabled now when we're ready. So, like, next turn, I can flash in one of these and trade with it. Because it'll be a 2-1 for 1. Words! You know what I'm trying to say. Give me a blue source. That's not a blue source, but it has some good things going on for it, which you will see in a moment. That's probably a decent argument, Possums. It looks like this can't block. So they've just got a free attack, right? Like, come and get me. It can't block. It says so on the card. You gotta stop it. That's not very nice. I think I still want the relic golem. I probably should have reduced the power on this, frankly. I forgot that it had trample. Like, they were trading anyway, so I took the same amount of damage, but I opened myself up to that stupid +1/+1 counter instant. Yeah, that's what I should have done, Greg. I wasn't thinking about it. That was somewhat obviously better. Oh, wow. They're playing that 6/6. I don't think that's very good in limited. But I guess it doesn't matter what I think. All right, they've got a shoot swarm, so we're scared of that. I'm not super scared of the rest of this, although it is arbitrarily large. We've got a decent amount of death touchers that just don't care, right? Like, we've got 2 of these. We've got a combat trick with them. We can potentially get them back. We've got Deadly Alliance. I'm not really worried about that. I'm not going to keep pace with the blue deck with card advantage. So the spare supplies is looking a little sus. It may need to be ejected. But there's not really anything else that I want because these duelists are doing their job here. So I think we probably keep this. Yeah, it doesn't do anything versus the big boar, but like at that point, that's what the skulkers are for. And like it's 1,000,000 mana, right? Like spare supplies. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't think I saw anything that makes us want to change much here. I am terrified of that bug, though. If they land that, I'm just going to lose. Yeah, I feel like if it had had trample, the card might have edged into playability. But like 7 mana is just a lot, especially when the whole set is about flexible cards, right? Like you can play this on 2 or 6. Here's a land or a spell. It's like, here's a big dumb thing that can be a bigger, dumber thing. I don't know that I'm super interested in that. Red has one, though, Kenny. You've got Pyroclasm. Yeah, I didn't play Theros. I took a break after Eldraine, because drafting Eldraine with bots was pretty miserable. All right, we'll just start playing, slow playing it. I think we're going to get some sus supplies here in a minute, but if they go a Scythe Cat, though, all of a sudden we change our mind a little bit. Riptide'd be terrifying, yo. Can do this in case we hit the tap land and want to play it. I probably wouldn't, but we could. We've got so many lands. So many lands. This could at least let us trade for that, but like what kicker spells are they going to play? Probably bounce your dude. They'd be roiling, roiling, roiling. What are you doing? Like now they got to use a combat trick and still trade? I'm okay with that. Or they can end the royal my duelist. I guess that kind of gets me. Yeah. Okay, that wasn't too bright. That's kind of handy. I don't mind throwing away value if I can just bubble tea it. Yeah, I should have made them make the first move there, or just like not blocked. They kind of got me. But I'm thinking we just bubble tea it and don't worry about it. I can still hear the neighbor's cat singing the song of her people. Yeah, yeah, she's just getting louder. But I know if we like let her up here play around, it's not going to be great. It could be the best thing ever. That's fair. They know about the duelist, but and I can play it as a 1/1 to mill them if I want to, but we're starting to enter the point where they just bounce everything I play now. All right, that's what the Death Toucher's for. I don't think we're going to get additional value off of this, so we may as well take our mill/mana efficiency. But that's literally why we have the Death Toucher, so I think we're okay here. They're at 5, so we'd need to get 2 more cards in their bin. So 1 more mill spell should do it. If I absolutely had to, we could +2/+2 here and just trade. If they ordered weirdly, I guess I'd get to keep a creature no matter what. But they're going to have to deal with this first. I don't know how scared I am of the 6/5 currently. Obviously, it'd be better if I had the other Death Toucher, but I'm bad at Magic and I don't. All right, we've already played through all our card draw, so I don't think we got much going on here. But I don't see a reason to be holding the lands. We've got 1 Dreadworm, but 2 should be fine. Give me some action, yo. That's a problem adjacent. This we want to keep, because I think we're going to need to save this critter. I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to get through this. It could be a real problem. The problem is Subtle Strike on this dude would still trade for the Stomper, and I'd like it to do better than trade. All right, they going all in, which means if I answer that, we're in great shape, and if I don't, we're in trouble. So let's answer it with a swamp. Come on now. I put good cards in this deck. I had an expectation of drawing them. Ugh. What is that? I guess I don't have to click and see what that's getting. They'll show me what it's getting. It's getting an Into the Royal. All right, so it needs to be a removal spell pretty dang quickly. And all of a sudden our double block and trade on purpose is starting to look pretty good. Assuming they bounce the Death Toucher, we can get something. Yeah, we can actually answer the 6/5. Kind of handily. And if we don't answer the 6/5, I guess we just shrink this for a turn. Well, the things and stuff they did was play a big flyer without us hitting a removal spell. Like, it's not that much stuff. I think my block was pretty sus earlier, but this buys us a full turn, but it is going to turn off using the Rebirth. So I think I still cast it, but it also turns this into a 4/4 menace, which is not irrelevant, but when their life total's this high, it doesn't matter much. Wow. Okay. Surprisingly, this is decent news. Because had they not done that, I could not top deck a removal spell and still win. Now that may mean they have another one and we're just dead. But if they don't, we could be in business here. Or we could just literally be dead. Well, not quite just dead. But it has hexproof, huh? Yeah, okay, okay. I said we were going to have trouble with the combat trick. Lo and behold, we have been destroyed by the combat trick. Tricksy hobbitses. So this is not an aggro matchup, and they are looking to build one big thing and kind of kill us with it. They've got a lot of bounce. We didn't see any bubble teas from them. Usually that would make me want the cat. I think I might want the cat anyway because these 1/1s are just not doing much later. And I still don't think I'm going to outvalue them. And on the play, I'd rather have more action anyway. We haven't drawn Thwart the Grave once, have we? I'm telling you, it's good. You do have to be able to draw it and cast it, but it's good. I'm glad you liked it, Guy in Shades. Yeah, the last audiobook I did was a lot of fun. I think we do want to play out the Spland here, just so we can curve Shade into Mind Drain. I had to do a lot of voices for that one. That's been published, so it should be available in the next month or so. I'll get everybody info about it on the Twitters when we have it. I would very much like for them not to bubble tea this. Let's let them decide to trade or not before this happens. Because I'm a Mind Drain them. And draw a blue source, and then we're good to go. It's a bold move, Cotton. Blue source me. Blue source me. Please. I'm not pestering you, Henry. I know you're working on it, bud. That was when I discovered I could do a Golem voice. Oh, this is not great for me. Them not respecting my aggressiveness is going to be a real problem. Because this guy doesn't do anything. A blue source and we're kind of in business. I can look at bubble tea in one of these fellas. I can look at maybe cutting some throats. As it stands, we're looking at taking a bunch of damage and them just not caring. Good Lord. What's it like to have 5 mana of 2 different colors? That's so much mana. I think we still attack with this. It's not like I can block. So if they trade, they trade. I kind of need another land after this is the super awkward part. And the Cutthroat really doesn't do anything, so I'm kind of forced into bubble teeing. The Cutthroat now could save us 2 life and trade with this, which gets another card in the graveyard. So they're at 4. That would be 5, 6, 7. So we'd actually be close to blocking with our dude this way. And they sort of have to respect that I could activate this. So there's some possibility that this doesn't even attack. Well, I couldn't even activate it and block, right? Yeah, it would just be for counters. So they should swing team here. And if we can get it to taking 6, this means our golem is now on, right? Because there's 5. So I've actually got a blocker. Not right now, but soon. Because I'd need one more to block with it, but we're close. Is this better here or just chumping 4? It might be better chumping 4. Because we're going to bubble tea this, block that. These are just 1/1s. I can take this hit. 7 damage. It's a lot of damage. I'm going to really lean on this golem for blocking duties. And the top of the deck for drawing cards that matter. I think I'm happy with this trading. All right, you top deck nothing. Not an end to the royal. Definitely not an end to the royal. Milling them for more doesn't do much. I'm kind of tempted to put a counter here. I think that's the call. I think I got to save home slice for one more turn, but I can send in the shade. They have to double block, right? What if I do that and then just play a land and hold this up? You can't enter the royal a land. So this is a lethal attack. They'd have to have into the royal now, which they don't because they would have already played it. And I can protect myself from anything other than the 3/3 flash flyer, which is fine because it doesn't kill me. I think I just pass. Oh, got there. I think the crux of that game was recognizing that if I put the counter there and attack, they have to block, and that there's basically nothing they can do about the Cinder Barons. So I feel like scraping a 2/1 out of that was actually kind of a victory. Kind of a victory. So we got there. Boys and girls on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see it live, feel free to stop by the Twitch stream at twitch.tv/Semulin. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube. We'll see you guys on the next video, where we'll probably draft rogues again, because apparently that's what we do. Thanks for tuning in.